Hi, Tosh here with Tactical Hyve. We're going to be painting a sniper rifle with Miles here, and he's going to be doing a sniper adventure, and we got to get his gun ready. So I've already taped up the gun, so you can see everywhere I taped is anywhere that I want to protect glass or I need to see the function of the weapon. So my power on my scope, I tape that up so I can always know what power I'm on. Also my turrets, I tape those up so I can read them if I need to adjust, make an adjustment. And then of course all the glass covered down on the muzzle, and then covered the bolt area. You can see right here. Okay, and I did this really quick. So this is the way we used to do it in the teams before they had all the high-speed stuff. We just got some masking tape, taped up those things, and just got the spray cans and came out and did it, and we'll see what it looks like at the end of this. So the other thing I did was I covered the screws that I think that I may adjust or change. I don't paint those. For rangeisms, I paint covered over the safety markers, so I know whether the weapon's on fire or safe, and other people can see it too. I went ahead and painted the magazines. Okay, I taped up obviously certain areas where the bolt catch it, or where the catch is for it in the release, and then covered up, where the bullets go. So this is already dry. I can go ahead and remove the tape. Little spots like that don't matter. You know what I mean? Just as long as you're getting rid of the shine and you're getting rid of the sides, that's going to be in the weapon system anyway. I did the scope cap earlier because it's a different material than metal, because I think this is eventually over time going to wear off, but I went ahead and did that because that's going to be on the gun when you stalk through.
So the sides of the turrets, the top of the turret, is that kind of like the side of the magazine? That small spot doesn't really matter?
Painting of the gun isn't going to make or break you. It adds filler to when you start vegging up the weapon system, and it gets rid of any possible excess shine and things like that. So because as you stalk through, depending on how slick the material is that you're using, after about an hour of stalking in the field, if this is in the gun, that paint's all gonna pretty much come off, but it's still gonna give it a mottled look, and so it'll do its job. It's not a super crucial thing to paint your gun. It's a good idea, especially if you got what you're really like, all this black, all the really hard, dark colors, that's what you're trying to get rid of. So this gun, it's got a coyote brown chassis, and so I don't have to do a whole lot of painting on it. I just gotta get all the darkness taken care of. And wherever the majority of the shadow is, I want to get lighter colors. Where the majority of light's hitting, I want to go with darker colors. You know what I mean? But I basically only use two colors. I usually just use tan, some kind of desert sand, whatever color. They've got a whole spectrum of those colors. You can use the sand yellow or whatever. That's good. That's a good color. Start with the lighter color and then go dark. And then the only other color I use is the OD green, just to kind of break up the flatness of it. You know what I mean? So I'm doing a real quick job on this. Now there's guys that'll take hours to make this happen. They'll cut the masking tape to the perfect lines and things like that. I'm not doing that, okay? Because I really just don't care about doing it being that detailed. Some guys are real detail oriented on that, and that's fine, whatever. That works. This also works.
That said, Tosh, not really being so detail oriented, is it something that you have to even worry about? Because kind of like with the magazine, the paint's gonna come off, right? So do people generally have to repaint the rifle after using it for a prolonged time?
Yeah, once the black starts bleeding through, then you kind of want to touch it up. And that's the beauty of using spray paint as opposed to getting your gun actually manufactured that way. So now you can go get your gun Cerakoted. And if you're really concerned about it, that's the way to do it. That way you don't have to mess with it ever again. Got it. Okay. But this is the poor man's way, or the old operator way of doing it, is just tape shit up and spray it down, man. Real simple shit.
Nice.
All right, so what I'm gonna start with, okay, one of the things I did do is I put a Ear Pro in the muzzle because I want to break up this shape, okay, and still get the front of the muzzle, so it's got some color to it. So test your paint. See, that's why you test your paint. Okay, and so what you don't want to do is you don't want to go hard, you know, spray where it starts getting drippy. So you want to stand off a little bit from it and just kind of lightly. It'll dry a lot quicker. So you see how I'm just kind of brushing over it. I'm not spending a whole lot of hard time on it. And it doesn't have to be completely flat, just so it gets some color. See how that black's starting to fade now?
It's a big difference. I can imagine like seeing through that, through some brush. It's gonna be harder to spot for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be filler. Okay, so now the muzzle, the front of the gun is really what you're concerned about, right? This is what's gonna be facing the OP. So the hard lines that are created by this gun, you wanna try to fade them out. And so you gotta make sure you get from the front, okay? To break up that, because this is what's gonna be exposed when you're being evaluated. Okay, see that? And I go a little heavier from the front. That's really where the big concern is, okay, is from the front, because that's what's gonna be looked at and observed. So I'm gonna do this other side real quick.
And so, right, you're not really looking to have any certain kind of pattern, just kind of.
No, now you can do this. So what guys will do is they'll take there's something called bow flage that's made for painting equipment, and it comes with like little branches and stuff like that, and you can put it on there and spray over the top of it, and it'll give that shape into it if that's what you want to do, if that's what you're concerned about doing. I don't like any hard lines at all. There's enough hard lines on this that I don't want to create more new hard lines. Okay, so I'll let that dry a little bit. Now this isn't going to be a pretty paint job, just so you know. It's just gonna.
It's functional.
It's functional, right? The truth is, after you do a few stocks or you do one stock, at the end of the stock, half the paint's worn off anyway, because you're sweating on it, you're dragging it, whatever. You're putting veg on it. Okay, so now I got a darker color, right? So I want to come from a top, an angle. So I kind of like do like a tiger stripe-ish kind of pattern, and I'll just, nothing hard. Not a lot of. Just to break up the colors a little bit. Look how it's turning out. And it gives some texture to the gun.
Gives it some personality.
Yeah, it gives it some personality. I mean, it was a big fad for a long time. Everybody's trying to make their guns look like, you know, the real deal. And this is all we did. We didn't have, you know, Cerakote and all that other stuff. And then I'm gonna frost it back over. I put that dark color on her, and then I'm gonna just do a real light over the top of that. Now, just to add a little character, I will use a third color, but you really don't need to at this point. What's it look like?
Yeah, it's already.
It looks like dirt, right? And that's what you want it to look like. So it looks pretty good. It looks like it's professionally done, right? At this point. So just give it a little pizzazz, if you will. Some guys, you know, the more you can get crazy, you can do multi-cam, you can do all that stuff. And that's essentially what this is now at this point with the brown. you see how I went lighter with the darker colors? Not as much, right? So now I'm gonna frost that over real quick. Frost over those darker colors. Boom, done.
Easy enough.
Now I got a bunch of other shit I gotta go do, boom, boom, boom. So taken care of. All right, so give it a few minutes, let it dry up, and then we'll take a look at it without the tape. There are gonna be some spots that the tape was covered over. That I might take the light tan and just quickly squirt it just to cover up those hard lines that's been created by it.
So once you take off the tape, you see a little bit of black.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it on the scope though. That sets as is. Do some dark, but do real quick, short.
Tiger stripe this one.
Yeah, this side of the gun. Now frost it with this.
Same direction as well? Or?
Yes. But really it doesn't matter. Whatever makes you feel good. Okay.
Yeah, because it already looks just like the dirt. So.
And that's your goal.
Yeah.
Right? You want it to look like the environment around you. Okay, so let's give that a few minutes in the sun. Okay, so one of the things I didn't talk about on the tape job, so usually what I do is I didn't have any toilet paper, I use toilet paper. I fill this in and then I tape over it. So if there is any spillage or leakage over the side, that absorbs it and it doesn't hit the glass.
The first line of defense there.
Yeah. And I do that both on the front and back. See, so we got some hard lines. We're gonna fix that in a second here.
I'll help you out here.
Yeah,
Got some of these.
just remove the tape.
Took about, it was really quick, 5 minutes. Just let it dry.
Well, with the taping and everything,
Yeah, the taping.
that takes the longest amount of time. And depending on how precise you're trying to be with the taping, that can affect your time. But it shouldn't take you more than an hour from taping to painting, being done with your painting. Okay. Okay.
And so you're gonna keep these black then?
So what I'm gonna do right now, let me get, so I can just use tape. So I'm covering that lens a little bit and I'm gonna frost it just a little bit, okay? Just so it takes away some of the hard lines. Oh. If it's too much, just wipe it down so you can see your, yeah, I hit a little too hard that time. Okay. That's a little much. I'll fix that later. Okay. So
These right here, would you get nitpicky with the kind of the edges here? Or?
yeah, I'm gonna hit that, but I need to get over here. Okay. Same with this. Just real light. Okay. All right, and that's it.
Looks good.
There she blows. Now so I paint a little too dark here. I'm gonna have to scrape this off a little bit so I can see. The dials. Yeah, but you see how it comes off, right?
Yeah.
So that's easy to do, that's easy to work. If you do happen to paint too much, you can scrape it off. So the big thing is when you're painting your gun, you want to make sure you cover over all the glass so the glass isn't affected, okay? And then the other big thing is the functionality of weapon. You don't want the paint to inhibit the functionality of your weapon. Like painting your bolt is not a good idea, right? Because it may not, it probably won't affect your gun, but there's a chance that it can. It can affect the operation of your firearm, you know. And that's really what it comes down to. Get the hard lines, get rid of the black, get the hard lines, and then, you know, you can get as fancy as you want. You can get patterns that you can lay over the top. You get some guys who put cami netting over the top of their gun and they spray paint it that way.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You know, you can get really cool designs that you can hold up to the gun, like a stencil, and spray it. I'm just a quick and easy, hey, boom. It's all gonna get ruined anyway over time anyway. So unless you get it professionally done where it's Cerakoted, special, you know, multicam. Everybody likes the multicam, right? You know, you can have your guns done that way, but you're gonna pay for it, you know? And the reality is if you're using your gun in that capacity where you need to camouflage it, it's gonna get dirty and beat up anyway. So this is the cheapest and easiest way to get it done.
Awesome. Thanks, Tosh.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't hear, so it's a pretty quick way to camouflage your rifle. As Tosh mentioned earlier, that probably the longest part is taping up all those places that you don't want paint to get in, but after that, it's pretty simple. So thanks again, Tosh. And if you guys like this type of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.